We got a game 7, the two best words in sports.
We're going to game 7, baby. Game 7. Game 7.
It feels right. This series has been a heavyweight fight from the very beginning. Minnesota came out fast. They threw their best punch at the defending champs, and the Nuggets just ate it on the chin and responded in a big way, rattled off 3 straight, including a 40-point masterclass from Jokic in Game 5. And then how did the Timberwolves respond? They ate the Nuggets' best punch, and now they came out in Game 6 and were up at one point in this game by 50. Michael Malone pulled the starters with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. There was nothing else to play for. He knew that might as well get them the extra rest because they're going back to Denver for a game 7 and what is the heavyweight bout of this NBA playoffs. If you follow me on Twitter, if you listen to the podcast, and I have that linked in the description below, Off the Glass Podcast, I said that this is the NBA Finals, and I still feel that way. Whoever wins this series, I'm very confidently picking to win the NBA Finals because both teams are just so impressive in their own ways. And this game really showcased Minnesota's defensive acumen back to where it was that we saw in games 1 and 2. And what I appreciate about the adjustments that the Timberwolves made specifically in Game 6 was that they made a decision. They were very clear in that choice. And a lot of times, when teams defend Jokic, you're trying to think about, well, do you make him a scorer or a passer? And obviously that's really oversimplified, but a lot of it just comes down to the type of coverage that you're showing him. Are you giving him one-on-one looks? Are you going to let your big die down there on an island, basically, because he's going to dominate any type of one-on-one matchup? Or are you going to show him bodies? Are you going to double him on the catch? Are you going to double him on the post? Are you going to double him at the perimeter? There was a lot of times where the Timberwolves just showed him multiple bodies and forced the ball out of his hands into his teammates and said, look, Denver, if you are going to beat us in Game 6, it's going to have to be Jamal Murray. It's going to have to be Michael Porter Jr. It's going to have to be KCP. It's going to have to be Aaron Gordon. And you better hope they can do it, because if not, they're going to miss. We're going to get the ball. We're faster than y'all. We'll have more pace than y'all, and we're going to get out in transition and get easy buckets. And that's exactly what happened in this one. Jamal Murray, 4 of 18 from the field. Michael Porter Jr., 3 of 9 from the field. Michael Porter Jr. has had a bad shooting series. It's been covered up by some phenomenal Jokic performances and some phenomenal Jamal Murray performances between games 3 and 5. But if you go back to games 1 and 2, Jamal Murray struggled a bunch. Jamal Murray struggled a bunch here in Game 6. And they've lost every single game where Jamal Murray has had this bad of a shooting night. And like I said, it's not like Jokic was making the wrong decision. He's seeing 2 bodies every single time. He's making the right pass. Jamal Murray just didn't have enough last night. Now, obviously, he's dealing with the injury. Maybe that's affecting it a bit. But either way, that seems to be the best way for Minnesota to try to play this Denver Nuggets team. Make anybody but Jokic beat you. And it's put them in a position now where we're going to a Game 7. Have to give a ton of credit to Anthony Edwards in this one. He came out on fire. I think like 15 or 16 first quarter points. The three-pointer was falling super early for him. Jaden McDaniels got it going early, made his first couple of shots. He ended up with 21 in this one too. So I think he was the second leading scorer for the Timberwolves. Just a monster night for the entire Timberwolves team. Gobert looked strong. He looked physical. He looked comfortable. Again, when he has that extra help to come down and support him with Jokic, he also gets to play the passing lane even more because he knows that he doesn't have to be the sole body up on Jokic. So there's a couple times, again, where he's disrupting that quick pass that Jokic likes to make to Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot, whether that be the lob. I know there was one that he stole that was a bounce pass where he was able to drop back and get his hands in the passing lane there. So this maximizes Gobert as a defender. Leaving him one-on-one with Jokic is not a recipe for success for anybody. I don't care what Draymond says, because last time they played, Jokic gave Draymond the business. And the other times that the Nuggets played the Warriors this year, Draymond didn't play because he was suspended. So he don't need to be talking like that. There's not anybody in the NBA who can guard Jokic one-on-one really for a full game, but definitely not for a full series. He just has so many counters, so many different ways he can attack you on top of the playmaking abilities and really being the best passing big that we've ever seen in the history of basketball. He presents just so many challenges. So you need to really gear your game plan to try to eliminate one of those two aspects. The Timberwolves tried to switch coverages up on him, but leave it mostly in one-on-one situations where you have Gobert or Cat or Nas Reed taking those post ups against Jokic and having everybody else stay home. They're not coming to trap. They're not coming down to help or show. They are staying on their man and just going to let Jokic work out one-on-one. And we saw what that led to in Game 5. Gobert can't guard him. Cat did a little bit better, but at the end of the day, he had 40 points. Like, nobody is going to guard him on an island like that. So, huge tip of my cap to Chris Finch and Mike Nori to be definitive in an adjustment and say, look, anybody but Jokic is going to have to beat us. And it worked. And it really worked to perfection from the get-go. Because like I said, Michael Porter Jr. has been struggling to shoot. He struggled to shoot in this one. Jamal Murray's had an up and down series. He had a really down game, really bad shooting night. Couldn't feel like he'd get anything to go. Some of them are good looks, but at the end of the day, if you're cold, you're cold. And a lot of those misses turn into quick rebounds, throwing it up the court. You got Jaden McDaniels going on the fast breaks, Anthony Edwards on the fast breaks. People are scrambling, rotating down. All of a sudden, you get drive and kick, swing to a cat three. Mike Conley three, it just was an avalanche early on. They jumped out to a quick 20-point lead, and they never looked back. So we are going back to Denver for a Game 7. And I'm sure you can see it on my face. I'm excited because that's going to be the game. I think I'm going to live stream that game on playback. That is also going to be in the description. So be ready, be prepared as long as AT&T keeps my Wi-Fi up because I got beef with y'all right now. But be sure to tap into playback, keep the notifications on. Follow me on Twitter. I'll be posting if I'm officially going to go live for Game 7 because that is, like I said, the game of the playoffs. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. Both teams are going to empty the tank. I think we're going to get phenomenal performances from Jokic. That's expected. I think we're going to get another great performance from Anthony Edwards, who, luckily looks like he avoided any type of serious injury. Had a bit of a nasty fall. I think it was in the third quarter. Looked like he landed right on his tailbone. I've done that a couple times in football. That is not fun at all. It's very painful. Not that day either. Very painful the next couple days to even just sit. So, but he was able to finish out the game. Was still moving really well after. So, he's younger than me. So hopefully he's in a good spot to rest over the next day or two and be ready on Sunday for Game 7. But yeah, I have to take a little bit more time to really think, and we're going to record on Saturday the podcast, so we'll kind of do a really full preview of what to expect in Game 7 there. I think it's actually, let me double check that it's on Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, it's on Sunday, the Game 7. So yeah, we're gonna be filming on Saturday. We're gonna do a full preview for Game 7 there. But just to give my initial early thoughts for this Game 7, in Denver, I picked before the series started. I picked Denver in 7. I definitely pivoted after Game 2 to Minnesota. One game, win or go home elimination. It's hard for me to pick against Denver. It's hard for me to pick against Jokic. With them being, honestly, whether it was home or the road, it's just going to be hard for me to pick against the best player in the world, a dynamic offense. You would hope if you're the Timberwolves, right? I imagine they come out with the exact same strategy of just showing as many bodies to Jokic as possible and just rotating and rotating and rotating on all the help. And you hope that MPJ or KCP or Jamal Murray doesn't get hot, because if they don't, the Nuggets will not win Game 7 without one of their other guys contributing in a big way. They're going to need Michael Porter Jr. to hit shots. If he's not hitting shots, they're definitely going to need Jamal Murray to have one of his playoff riser moments and have a big game. Either way, I'm expecting like I said, a dogfight of a game. I think it'll be close. It'll be intense. I've been to that arena in Denver. That crowd is going to be electric. They're going to be rocking. It's all you can ask for as an NBA fan. I said it at the beginning. Game 7 are two of the best words you can hear as a sports fan. Two of the best words you can definitely hear as a basketball fan. So I'm excited, man. I'm so glad that this is what the series has turned out to, because initially it looked like it might have been a little bit of a beatdown, and then it looked like it might have been a beatdown in the other direction, and here we are now. Both teams just throwing haymaker after haymaker, and we're going into the 12th round, the championship round, and Game 7. Like I said, I got all the links in the description to both the podcast, all of our social channels, and the playback if I'm going live on Sunday to watch Game 7. So be sure to tap in on the socials. I'll be posting if I'm going live with the links there. So follow us on all those platforms. And I'm out. Peace.